Hello, I'm Surfer Clock.
And I'm Tap G.
And welcome to What's the Attraction?
Where our work is your vacation.
Well, folks, this is it. Both Tap G and I love our theme park rides. We do, sincerely.
Mucho lovo all around.
But we're also critics. And like film critics, just because we like Citizen Kane, Casablanca, and Sunset Boulevard doesn't mean we equally enjoy Manos, The Hands of Fate, or The Room. We may enjoy it on a different wavelength.
Or we just flat out hate it.
So today, we decided to look around for an attraction we didn't particularly care for. Not just one we didn't like, but apparently very few of you like as well.
A ride so terrible, Bob Selinger and Len Testa, authors of the annual unofficial guide to Walt Disney World, call this ride, quote, a cheap coat of paint on a broken car, end quote. Today, we're going in to Stitch's Great Escape.
In 1971, when the Magic Kingdom opened, Tomorrowland featured a Flight to the Moon ride to commemorate the amazing technological leaps it took to get us there. Then in 1975, it was replaced by Mission to Mars. While it was far more popular than the one prior, heck, it lasted until 1993, its concept got dated.
In 1995, Disney decided to go all out on a thrilling, intense, adrenaline-pounding attraction. Magic Kingdom had long been short on serious thrills, so the powers that be Disney executives green-lighted the extraterrestrial alien encounter, a ride so terrifying even Ripley from Aliens would probably have taken a pass. For 8 years, guests were kind of split about it. Some loved the spine-tingling insanity of being plunged into sheer darkness and having a carnivorous reptilian extraterrestrial touching, breathing, and drooling on you. Some thought it was an exciting good time.
Others thought such a gruesome, terrifying ride had no business operating at Disney, let alone inside the kid-friendly gates of the Magic Kingdom. At this point, Disney Imagineers theorized that making a similar attraction, but with a more accessible, popular central character, would make it appealing to kids while maintaining that scary edge. Enter Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch premiered in summer of 2002 and was a surprising success for Disney. Stitch was designed and voiced by the film's co-writer and co-director Chris Sanders, who has a cameo at Disney's Hollywood Studios' Magic of Disney Animation. Today, he works at DreamWorks, where he and Lilo and Stitch cohort, Dean DeBlois, made the popular How to Train Your Dragon. Right away, Disney and Sanders established that Stitch wasn't to be a typical Disney character. He was a good guy, but he could be gross, uncouth, and destructive. Even the trailers for the movie showed him wrecking classic scenes of The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and The Lion King.
The two elements came together in 2004 in an overly elaborate fanfare. Guests woke up that morning of November 16th and were startled to find Cinderella Castle had been TP'd. Probably the most disrespectful thing done since that event that shall not be named.
What, the Voldemort incident?
No.
Oh, you mean the 25th anniversary in 1996 where it was made to look like a big pink gooey candy cake? Surfer Clock, why do you have that look in your eye like you're about to... Put that down! Oh, wow!
So unlike that event that shall not be named, the castle also featured dancers all dressed like Elvis for Stitch's owner Lilo, an Elvis fan.
Holy cow! When did you start packing?
I knew this day would come. I like to be prepared. We should never relive 1996 at the Magic Kingdom ever again.
Yeah, but what if...
Ever again.
So, Stitch's Great Escape. Once you enter the first pre-show area, Lilo and Stitch characters Agent Pleakley, the Grand Councilwoman, and Captain Gantu welcome you as new recruits, guards for the United Galactic Federation, to watch over the prisoners. In the second pre-show area, a robot named Sergeant 90210 greets you. And yes, folks, this came out before the reboot TV series, so this just comes off as a dated retro inside joke.
Well, we do get one nice surprise. Skippy, a cuddly alien who is a popular favorite from the extraterrestrial alien encounter days, is in a prisoner tube next to the sergeant, convicted of jaywalking. The sergeant discusses common criminals, labeled number 1s, and more violent offenders, called number 2s. Sergeant is voiced by Richard Kind, best known for his roles in Spin City, Scrubs, and A Bug's Life.
Gantu pops on screen and alerts 90210 of an incoming number 3, which sends him into a panic and eventual faint. The plot now underway, guests are escorted to a rotund theater and seated in let's be honest, very uncomfortable chairs. To add to the discomfort, a harness lowers and rests on your shoulders. Unfortunately, they have no padding whatsoever and give you almost no wiggle room. This is necessary for the show's effects, but it creates problems in and of itself. It's badly uncomfortable, and in a scary show like this, parents are unable to console their terrified offspring. But wait, there's more.
In the center of the theater, Stitch is teleported in, and we have to admit, as much as we dislike this ride, the audio animatronic of Stitch is actually really high-tech and pretty cool.
Gentoo and the officers are perplexed at the apparent overzealousness of security and leave Stitch in our hands until Gentoo returns from straightening out the situation. But as we all know by now, idle claws are Stitch's playground.
Stitch breaks free, shuts off the power, and runs amok in the theater. The Blue Imp's explorations are played out for you with high-definition speakers right behind your ears, so it's like he's right behind you. But that's not all. He bounces on your shoulder harness, he belches chili dog breath in your face, he musses up your hair. Need I go on? I'm not sure who thought any of this was fun or appealing, but this is kind of deranged. It's one thing to feel scared for your life like an extraterrestrial. Thrill rides around the country get that. But having your personal space violated with digging shoulder harnesses and noxious odors, it isn't fun, exciting, or entertaining. It's unpleasant, disgusting, and a little painful. What did you think?
Here's what I think. I think what Disney Imagineers were thinking was, let's keep the thrills for the teenagers and the older guests, and yet the kids will like it because it has Stitch in it, and because these kids love Stitch. But now that you look at it these days, it's actually completely reversed. The teens and the older crowd think this ride is wussified with Stitch, if that makes any sense, and the kids are too terrified.
Well, I think people that grew up with extraterrestrial now find that they feel cheated by the concept overall.
That's the big thing right there.
Because now those people who first experienced that are now having kids of their own.
Mm-hmm.
So they feel a little cheated out of what could have been a fantastic theme park experience for them.
Mm-hmm.
My main problem with Stitch's Great Escape is that now most theme park stories are kind of laid out where you go into a situation, something goes wrong, and you're either enlisted as an active participant or you kind of watch as things are made right all around you throughout the course of the ride or the show or whatever. So, when you get in, you're recruited as a prison guard, which is kind of exciting because you feel, okay, I'm going to take an active role.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're kind of watching over whatever prisoner that they have to bring in for you as part of your training. But then when you're strapped in and sat down, you kind of watch as things go crazy all around you. And now, I think in order to execute a successful theme park attraction, you have to pick. Do you want your guests to be active participants in this exciting story? Or do you want them to watch as things go wrong all around them?
And in this ride, it's not really decided whether you won the other or both.
What ends up happening is that, not to spoil much, but the ride is called Stitch's Great Escape.
That's true.
So
that is kind of a spoiler, isn't it?
So you kind of already know what's going to happen. But do you get to the end and do you feel happy and satisfied? Or, do the other characters feel happy and satisfied with what happens? Did they leave you with a sense of gratefulness? No, they just kind of kick you out of the room and into a gift shop.
Yeah.
It's kind of grating, and I think that this was a story that wasn't well executed. Mm-hmm. So the story really leaves more of a sour taste in my mouth than that chili dog breath.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things that I can't stand about this ride. There's that moment where in the ride you're in the darkness and all you hear behind you is, "Hey, give me back my chili dog!" And you Stitch says, "My chili dog!" And they fight over it, and then Stitch snarfs it down and he belches in your face saying, "Needs more onion." And it is a nauseous odor. It doesn't even smell like chili dog.
Can it even be associated with food?
I think it smells like rancid maple syrup. That's the closest I can think of. And here's the thing, though. You can smell it all the way in the first pre-show area. So, I don't know if they turn on fans at night or if they, open the roof or something. I don't know. But they need to aerate out that building.
I couldn't agree more.
It's a terrible, horrible, nasty odor. And it's not like some attractions where you go in and you smell like, oh, they just cleaned it last night. Or you go in other attractions like, oh, it smells like flowers in here like it's supposed to. And they just smell so nasty.
Yeah, it's a bad smell, first of all. And second of all, it doesn't seem like they aerated out enough.
So, for all of our complaining, Here's what I like about the attraction. There's the Stitch animatronic. It is really high-tech, and it's really cool, especially for when it was put out in 2004. His eyes narrow and widen, his ears can move, he can move all 4 of his arms, and he even seems to walk around. That is awesome!
It was really ahead of its time. It really kind of paved the way for what they seem to be doing today.
I love this animatronic because he just looks so cool, and I think the reason why this attraction has been going on for, 8 years now?
8 years.
Is because that animatronic was so expensive to put together. That's my theory. The other thing I like is the ending to the attraction. Not the whole get the guards out of here and sent to the gift shop part, but there's that cute little ending that I'm not going to give away for our listeners. That's kind of cute. I like that.
I suppose.
And I kind of get Stitch, who he is, and I even like 90210, but because I like Lilo and Stitch, but it's not worth all the pain you have to go through, all the strife and the stress you go through just for those little points.
Now take that and double it, and you have, most kids, they don't really like this ride.
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost unacceptably scary for kids.
Yeah. I'm giving this ride a 2 out of 5. I'm being a little generous, but like I said, I love the animatronic. I like that cute little ending clip, and I kind of get what it's about, so it makes it tolerable for me. And even if someone said, hey, let's ride it, I'll go ride it. But for the most part, I just as soon skip it. So 2 out of 5.
Okay, yeah. I feel like the bad story arc is just such a strong point for me. And I like the Stitch, and I even like Little Skippy. I think Little Skippy's kind of cute. But other than that, and maybe a couple of good jokes, but other than that, I'm going to have to be really cruel with this one and give it a 1.5 out of 5.
That's the lowest you've ever given anything.
I know.
Dun dun dun. What's strange is that Disney thought they could soften the blow by replacing the horrifying alien with cuddly Stitch. Not only does it seem to have no effect, but it's the only attraction in the Magic Kingdom with a warning label on their maps that read, "May frighten children."
Children must be at least 7 to go alone, and if they're not, they must go with someone at least 14. But let's face it, kids probably shouldn't go by themselves anyway. This ride is enough to give anyone nightmares, regardless of age. We strongly discourage children from going on this ride unless A, they're huge Stitch fans, or B, they like to be scared.
You must be at least 40 inches tall or 102 centimeters to ride. Wheelchairs are welcome, but those traveling in electric convenience vehicles or scooters, however, will need to transfer to a standard wheelchair. Assistive listening devices, handheld captioning, and closed captioning are available for the hearing impaired.
We can't really recommend this ride for anyone. I mean, granted, Tap G and I are partial to Stitch, but this ride is like the ride through the first 30 minutes of Pixar's WALL-E, complete with all the smells and visuals of the Earth. Just because it's part of the movie or the character doesn't make it fun by itself.
But Surfer Clock says it best. Unless you like being grossed out and you really love Stitch, we can't recommend this for you.
Sorry, Stitch. I hope we can still be friends.
Well, that's all we have for today, everyone. So until...
Whoa! Hey!
Whoa!
Who turned out the lights?
I can't see anything.
Now I know how our listeners feel. Well, where's that fuse box?
Aloha, Surfer Clock. Aloha, Tap G.
Oh, boy.
Stitch? That you, buddy?
Stitch not happy with waiting.
I'm Surfer Clock.
And I'm Scared Witless.
Thanks for listening. Our work is your vacation.
Oh, Stitch. No.
No, that's
so
disgusting.